Hey saddle hunters, thanks for tuning in and watching today's video. Today's video is going to kick off a brand new series. I'm calling this series Compact Climbing Methods. You know, there's a lot of people out there who aren't sure when they go into the woods whether they're going to climb a tree or whether they're going to hunt the ground, and they just want to find fresh sign and set up and hunt. And for guys like that, they typically don't want to carry real bulky climbing methods into the woods. So this series is going to focus on some of the most compact methods that you can use to climb a tree for hunting purposes. If you think you like this series, please take a second, hit the like and subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can use a climbing method that fits inside of a dump pouch, weighs a smidge over 3 pounds to get between 17 and 20 feet. Method I'm going to show you is using any kind of strap-on step. You could use squirrel steps, you could use Amara steps. In this case, I'm going to use Cranford rope steps with the Whoopee sling attachment. These weigh 8 ounces a piece. I'm going to use 5 of them in conjunction with a Versa strap from Tethered. You can also buy a similar strap from Eastern Woods Outdoors, and I'm going to use this to get between 17 and 20 feet using only 5 steps. I'm going to put this on my hip. I'm going to turn around, get it all hooked up, then we're going to show you guys how it works. I'm also going to show you how you can use this aider in conjunction with bolts to climb the very same way. So let's get into it. All right, so in order to get started in this method, you're going to set your first 2 steps from the ground. In the first step, you're going to want to hang it as high up as you can reach comfortably. For most people, this is going to be somewhere between 7 to 8 feet, which is why I say per step, you're going to get about 3.5 to 4 feet out of it. So for me, I like to set it about the bottom of my wrist. That's about 7.5 feet. I then measured where on my body half of 7.5 feet is. And for me, it's right around my belly button. So that gives me 2 good reference points that I can use when I'm in the woods to get fairly even spacing when I'm climbing. So we're gonna hang the first one at 7.5, and the other one's gonna be about half of that. So these rope steps are super easy to use. Like I mentioned, they're on a Whoopee style attachment method. So you just take the step, put it around the tree. You've got an end to tighten it and an end with a loop. You're gonna put it up as high as you can get it, loop it through there, and then just pull the tag in, pull it down to set it. There's your first step. You can see this is a pretty quick method as well. Same thing down here on the bottom. All right, now I'm ready to climb. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Versa strap out and I'm going to girth hitch it around my foot. So I'm going to come into the second link, I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to feed it through there. So I basically got a slip loop. That's going to go on my right foot. And then it's just going to cinch down. So now I'm ready to climb. The only other thing I should do at this point is take out my lineman's belt and run it around the tree. All right, so now that I've got my lineman's belt around the tree and my Versa strap, I'm gonna show you how this climbing method works. So what I'm gonna do is hold on to my Versa strap. I'm gonna pick my foot up so that it's about splitting the distance between the ground in this case and my step. And then I'm gonna reach up and I'm gonna find a loop that seems to be close to going over the step. I'm just gonna loop the aider over the step. And then I can step into that aider and up onto this step. I'm gonna flip around so you can see this. You're basically gonna put your foot, let's try this way. You're gonna put your foot right in kind of the side of the tree. Doesn't have to be right on the face. I found that you can kind of put it right there on the side and it works good. So give myself a little extra length on my lineman's belt. Step up into it. So now from here, if I wanted to not have all my weight on one foot, I could take the Versa strap and take it off, move it to a lower loop, and then I've basically got both my feet now supported at about the same height. So reach down, grab my next step, put it on the tree. All right, so now that I've got both of my feet supported at about the same level, I've pulled my lineman's belt in really tight so that I'm practically standing straight up. I've taken my third step out and I'm gonna attach it and continue to climb. So I like to run the crank around the tree, like I said, up about as high as I can reach. Loop it through the hook. Pull the whoopee sling tight, seat it. There you can see my distance is about the same. Grab my aider, hook it over the step, loosen the lineman's belt, foot against the tree, and step up again. Put my fourth one on. You can do it without moving your foot up to the next level. It just leaves the foot a little bit sore. Four step on, gator up, loosen the lineman's belt, step up onto the third one, and then I could hang my fourth one. So I mentioned that this climbing method only requires 5 steps to get somewhere between 17 and 20 feet for most people. And if you've been watching, you realize that we have to have a step above the step we want to step onto in order for the aider to hook on here and then for us to lift our foot up to this one. Well, what do you do then in order to get onto your 5th or your final step? I came down to ground level to show you this a little bit clearer. Basically, it's the same concept, but instead of carrying a 6th step and an extra half a pound and hanging it up here, what we're going to do is use our tether to accomplish essentially the same purpose. So just going to take our tether out, put it around the tree. You know, try about the same height just so that things can stay consistent. And we're going to grab the aider with a little length out of the lineman's belt here, but we grab the aider so that we're up somewhere where it's going to be a comfortable step distance, probably somewhere in there. Find our corresponding loop, hook it on, seat it, and then all we have to do to get onto our final step, put our weight into it, step up on. Now I'm at hunting height, and I would probably hang my platform at this point and then step onto it, and then obviously I'm probably going to advance my tether a little bit higher before I do that. So that's all there is to getting on your last step. Now let me show you how you can descend the tree using this method. All right, so I'm up here, I've got 4 steps hung. I'm going to show you guys how to climb down. It's the exact same method. You're going to hook the aider onto the step, and then you're going to lower your foot down. You want to make sure to never drop the end of the aider, all right? So right here, I've got my 4th step at belly button height. You guys can't really see it, but looping the Versa aider over it. You step down now into the Versa aider. And then I'm going to take my step all the way down to the step. Take my Versa aider off. I like to loop it over the next step. And that I know where it's at. To loosen the Cranfords, I'm going to tighten my lining belt up here. But to loosen the Cranfords, you're just going to pull on the top of the loop side. And then you can work it out of the hook. Hold it up. They pack up really, really easy. Just drop it in my pouch. Now, I'm going to, well, you can see this, to take my aider, put it over the Cranford step down into it, and go down to my next step. Now I can take it off. I'm going to loop it over this step so as not to lose it. Grab the top of the whoopee, take some slack out of it. It up. Same thing again. I've put a little bungee through the hole that I most commonly use. You could use a variety of things just to keep it open and easy to know where you're going. Helpful especially when you're going down. Step into it, onto the ground, take it off. The more you use these Cranfords, the ropes get looser and they get a lot easier to use. So that's all there is to coming down with the Cranford rope steps. All right, so hopefully that gives you a good idea of how you can use Cranford rope strap-on steps, or any kind of strap-on step for that matter, with an aider to get to hunting height in a 3-pound or less package. I also mentioned you can use this method with bolts, and so I've got 2 bolts in the tree, one about belly button height, the other one about 7.5 feet. I'm going to show you how this works. Before I do that, I had mentioned while I was climbing that I put a bungee through the loop in the Versa aider that I use most often. And what I like about that is it's super helpful for the climb down, knowing which loop is going to get me close enough, but it also helps to keep it open. So you don't have to use a bungee. I just grabbed this because it was laying around. You can use a variety of other things. But to climb with bolts would be essentially the same manner. You're just going to lift it up, put it over the bolt, put your foot into the side of the tree like that, and then you're going to step up onto your bolt. And that's all there is to it. You'd hang your next one, move your aider up to come down, loop it over the bolt, step into it, come on down. That bolt's at kind of an angle, so it slipped a little bit, but they're in there like they're supposed to be, it wouldn't do that. So anyway, hopefully that gives you an idea. If you're using bolts on private land, this is a really good method because it allows you to put about half as many bolts in, and you could get to hunting height with probably 5 to 6 bolts, and that's as compact of a climbing method as you'll find out there. So anyway, I hope this method is helpful for you guys that are considering going to a more compact or a lightweight climbing system for this fall hunting season. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We've got a bunch more videos in mind for this series, so appreciate if you guys would subscribe. That way you'll get notifications when the new videos drop. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys' support.